We have a saying around here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no brains, no headache.
Well, hello, boys.
What's up? What's up?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Welcome to episode 175 of No Brains, No Headache podcast. My name is Jordan Weichel. I'll be your host today. Damn glad to do it. Happy to be here. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I'm always joined by my co-host, confidant, longtime friend, fellow wannabe comedian. His name is Matt Clear. You can call him Mongo. Matt, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Good. Getting a snowstorm coming up, so, kind of bunkering in, getting ready. A little bit more prepared than last year. Bought a snowblower.
Yes, Matt purchased a snowblower, the most responsible thing he's purchased in the last 6 months besides the blackjack tab at the table at the bar.
So when I went in to buy it, I knew it was there. And I went in and I was like, I saw something on Facebook. They're like, oh yeah, the Toro. I'm like, I'll take it. They're like, do you want to look at it? I'm like, nope.
Nice. That is negotiation 101 right there, my friend.
And
you see something you want, you go and get it.
And I was like, okay. I was just like, okay, I'll ring it up for you. And she's like, that's the easiest sale I've ever made. It was like less than 15 seconds of me in the door.
All right, let me ring you up. $14,000. Let me go pawn off my car real quick. I'll be right back.
But I am glad that I went, because when we went and picked it up right before this, the guy was like, dude, right after you left, like 10 minutes later, someone came in and tried to buy it.
Time is money. You gotta act. When you see something you want or need, you gotta act immediately and appropriately. And that's what you did. You said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna go broke. I'm gonna have to lay off the sauce for a little bit. You're not gonna do that. We all know that. You got a snowblower, my friend.
And I got the Cadillac of snowblowers. It's a Toro.
Yes. When Matt told me what he paid for this, he's like, is that good? I'm like, oh, I sure fucking hope so for that price. My goodness, just upper echelon snow removal coming this winter to Matt's house. Really looking forward to that.
It's a real buyer's market for the snowblowers right now.
It sure is. And for our listeners out there, once again, thank you so much for joining us. We are recording a little bit ahead of time. I am headed out of town for a bit, so we needed to do this a little bit ahead of time. So keep that in mind here as you listen to episode 175 of No Brains, No Headache podcast. I'm Jordan. That's Matt. Do we have any housekeeping to get into, any fallacies before we jump into Cleary's comments? Matt, the floor is yours.
Not that I could think of off the top of my head, but I do have some good Dick Punch Rodeos coming up, so if you want to hit me with a sound clip, we can get right into it.
Well, I'm just happy that you closed the refrigerator door earlier when I asked for a beer, and Matt's like, why did I grab so many? Because we like to drink, that's why.
That's what I was going to bring up. So
fantastic. I read your mind.
I did the real life refrigerator door. I got out of my car and I was walking into my office, and then I was like, shit, I forgot my wallet in my car, and I turn around and my car door was just left open.
It was also bent the wrong way because somebody clipped you.
I was like, I just got out of my car and was like, cool, yep, this doesn't need to be shut.
I've been known to be a forgetful person. It's not uncommon for me to just constantly forget odds and ends here and there, wherever it may be. I almost had one of those, you ever been so stoned you go through the drive-thru, pay for your shit, and then pretty much leave? I could see, it kind of almost happened to me again, where I was hitting up the old D-through, and you go to the first window, you pay. You go to the second window, they hand you your drink, and I was ready to get out of there. I was just like, spacing out. That's usually what you do as a space cadet, is space out. And I was ready to just kind of grab that drink and head on with my day. Thankfully, though, I did not. So without further ado, let's get into Clear's Comments, the segment where we banter about random things.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Okay. Let's party.
This Dick Punch Rodeo of the week is all from one trip to Sam's Club.
Went to the club. Matt's been clubbing lately.
Yeah, but this one was work-related. I had to get us snacks for the office. So I'm driving down to Sam's Club, and I'm going right by the Chick-fil-A. and there's traffic cones because they're doing some sort of construction. And I see what I think is a cat crossing the road, and I do one of those like, oh my God, and like jerk the wheel. And I run over a traffic cone, like just plowed through it. And then I look and I see that this is a garbage bag that's rolling across the street.
You're driving along, and all of a sudden the kids are yelling from the back seat, I gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Not now, damn it.
And
Are you seeing things, Matt?
It was I thought it was a black cat, but it was a black garbage bag that was like weighted down a little bit, so it was moving a little slower than a garbage bag would actually move.
Weighted down.
And then I did the thing where you run over something and you drag it for a while, and then it just poops out the back end of your car. And now my check oil light's on. Not my check engine, just my check oil light.
I don't know. The traffic cones they make these days could have bent in the oil pan. You might have a little bit of leak in the old lube.
But I was like, well, that sucks. And then I go and I needed to get a toaster for the office because I put a list. Hey, what do you guys want? I'm going to run to Sam's Club. We get like Coke, Sprite, like all the snacks and stuff. And someone put toaster on the list. Like, I didn't say, hey, put appliances you'd like for the office. I said, put
But it
snack.
worked.
And I was like, fuck it, I'll get a toaster.
Toasters are cheap.
Yeah. And I went there and I go there and you know how they have the aisles where it says like what's generally in that aisle? There was one that said blenders, mixers, and toasters.
Okay.
Guess what wasn't in that aisle?
I'm going to go with toaster.
Yep. They don't even carry toasters. And I was like, why does it say toaster up there? She's like, well, there's other things that toast things. And I'm like, toasters mean toaster.
And I'm going to plug one in and draw a bath later, and you better be ready.
Yeah, I want to go and buy a 4-pack of toasters, so in case one doesn't actually work in my toaster bath, I got some backups.
And the toaster could also double as a lighter for your smoke breaks. You know, you just kind of inch the cig into the toaster part.
I don't know
And then you go out for your smoke break.
If there's a rock bottom ever in life.
It's lighting your cigarette with a toaster.
Yep.
I don't know. I'd say picking up cigarette butts off of a garage floor would be rock bottom.
Are you smoking them then, or just picking
I
them
have
up?
been to rock bottom. Rock bottom is on 6th Avenue in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Didn't you guys have like Garbage Island or something in your garage?
Yes, there was a certain garage that accumulated so much garbage that it became Garbage Island.
So you guys
no
just
fun.
like opened the garage door and would
Yeah, I didn't do it.
Oh.
I would party at the house a lot, so I was probably responsible for a certain amount of that garbage, but
I just remember the cleanup of it. It was like, it was 12 truckloads. And I was like, oh my God.
I don't know. I wasn't paying rent there, therefore didn't clean up. I just smoked the cig butts off the floor. That's rock bottom. Dick Punch Rodeo of the week.
One more. I wanted to get a hot dog from the club, and
Nice.
there was 4 people in line, and I just decided that was too much. And then as I was walking out, I instantly regretted it.
You motorboating son of a bitch, you old sailor, you.
The patience to have for a hot dog while clubbing is well worth it.
I feel like I
if
should
you're
have
gonna
went.
go to the club, you got to get a dog.
I should have went before I checked out because I had like a cart full of everything, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. And then like a couple people got in line as I was trying to make my decision, and then I was like, you know what?
You know what that is right there, Matt? It's a rookie mistake.
In
Okay,
this-
and you are better than that. So let's just try to learn something from this, okay, and move forward.
It's a teachable moment.
Minor comeback for a major setback. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. You got to stay positive in times like this.
Honestly, we're making that T-shirt.
Why wouldn't we do it? Dick Punch Rodeo of the Week. If you don't know what that is, just imagine getting your dick punched for up to 8 seconds. I also have a bit of a related topic here, Matt. I have beef with food reviewers who say that everything is good. Have you witnessed this before on the socials?
Yep.
It just drives me nuts. Take a side, goddammit.
There's
Not everything can be good. It's Burger King. I'll tell you for free, it's bad. The BK Lounge, there's nothing good there. They're like, we're going to try a crispy chicken sandwich. It's like, yeah, some dude in the back came on it, and that's the mayo. And it's not even real chicken. And the bun's soggy. I'll tell you for free that BK Lounge isn't good, so I don't want to watch your stupid food. I still will, but I want to watch your stupid food review if you're just going to say everything's good.
I did see one. I've been getting a lot of those too on my algorithm. And the guy was like, I'm going to go to Golden Corral and try everything. He's like, the mac and cheese is not good, or it's not great, but it's good. And I was like, no, I can tell you for free, the mac and cheese at Golden Corral sucks ass.
You can go ahead and flip that guy right off.
Hey, he's going to say something dumb like, hey, 2 down. Go ahead and flip him right off.
Pretty much. The food reviewers, especially when they have a large following, it's like, are we just simple human beings? And the answer is yes there, where we are willing to follow these people and praise them, and they say everything is good.
There's a certain pizza reviewer that literally he used to do like shitty scores and be mean, but now every single pizza is between like a 6.5 and an 8.5. There's like no variation.
Yeah, well, that's a huge problem.
It's like, I want to know if it's like a 2.1.
I remember, a while back, for those longtime listeners of No Brains, No Headache podcast, they'll remember Denko Andy, short for Denver Correspondent Andy, has since moved to the Fargo, Moorhead area.
Still call him Denko.
But I remember I started him a Twitter account. I was like, you got to get on Twitter. But I was like, don't be you. Be like a certain type of account. And then his theme came to be sports gambling, sports wagering.
Which he was historically terrible
Yeah,
at.
and chicken sandwich reviews. And I think I accidentally did more chicken sandwich reviews than Denko Andy has.
You did.
Yeah. And I think I might get back into the review game. It's a practice of my freedom of speech. And I think that would be excellent to prove my point here that, these food reviewers out here, they don't have any variation. They don't have any spine. They have soft skin, not thick skin, soft, because they can't say that the crispy chicken sandwich for BK Lounge fucking sucks.
Is that one you actually watched where it's like...
It was one of few, that's like the one I'm thinking of, but everything this person does is like, oh, yeah. And it's right away. It's like, I love when you can see them set it in their mouth. It hasn't been in there for 0.7 seconds.
Like before.
Oh, yeah, this is good. It's like, how do you get the full flavor? Chew on it for a while. See what it tastes like
before it touches their mouth. They're like,
oh man, this is friggin' delicious.
It's just a sound clip.
Food reviewers piss me off. I'm on one today.
Did you ever watch like Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay or have seen clips?
Yes, of course.
I love Gordon Ramsay. He pulls no punches.
Gordon Ramsay's great. You could watch YouTube clips of that guy all night.
He'll go in and he's like the British John Taffer.
I mean, I don't think this world would take praise to idiot sandwiches without the way they do without Gordon Ramsay. What are you? An idiot sandwich. What are you? An idiot sandwich. I mean, it might be a good management tactic.
When Glenn in Accepted just like staring at the fruit and he's like, what are you? And he just puts the whole thing in his mouth.
That's how you find out. And I bet Glenn would at least give it a couple seconds of saying this is good or bad. And he'd probably take both sides. Food reviewers, they're on the hot seat right now. I'm sick and tired of it, Matt. Let's move on.
Did you hear the Michigan football news?
Maybe throw a little rouge on ya. Tuck your sack back. You game?
No.
That's actually pretty good. So essentially what it came down to, came out like a week or two ago that they were stealing signs. Let's be honest, every single college football team attempts or accidentally does steal signs. But they were sending like a lower level scout or like staffer to away games.
To their opponents' games.
Yep. And then it came out, it just gets like weirder and weirder because this lower level staff guy who was like an offensive analyst, like as low as you can get.
Ass kisser.
Yep. And it was him and two other people on the coaching staff came up with a 600-page, they call it the Michigan Manifesto, about how they're going to take over the Michigan football team.
Like these two guys?
Yep, these two or three guys this is how they're going to, and then what they're going to do.
600 pages?
I did the math, and that is 18 times.
You did the math. That's 200 pages a person.
That's 18 times longer than my 8th grade research paper on Auschwitz.
Yeah, 35 pages times 18 is about 600.
Yep.
Wow.
I hope that's right.
Well, you know what, Matt? We have the power.
6.
Okay, 18 times 35 equals 630. Give or take.
Okay, I rounded up. But honestly, like, just let him do it at that point. He seems more prepared than any of the coaches.
Let him cheat?
Let him coach the team.
Yeah, but that's Harbaugh's job. He gets paid millions of dollars.
Harbaugh's getting fired. He's going to be in the NFL next year. Clip this right now.
Okay.
He's going to coach the Bears.
The Bears.
But at the same point, Michigan fans are just being Michigan fans. Huge assholes. They're just like, well, whatever. Like, everyone cheats. Not really doing anything about it. But at the same time, those same fans, like back in the early 2000s when Ohio State players got, like, they crucified a head coach, Jim Tressel, Hall of Fame head coach, because some of his players were getting discounted tattoos. And now the same Michigan
What's wrong
fans...
with discounted tattoos? That's the way to go. In this world, in this economy, discounted tattoos.
And it was like they were trading stuff they got from a bowl game. Like, because everyone, if you go to a BCS bowl or any bowl game, you get like a package of gifts.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, and then I have to hop in there.
And they were taking those. They're like, hey, I got this Oakley backpack. Can I trade this for a discount on my tattoo? And they're like, sure.
Whatever. It's just called the barter system, but it's the NCAA. They will fuck you the best they can. Thumb in the ass, all right, without you asking for it. You're not going to like it, but that's what they're going to do. Michigan clearly needs to work a little harder on stealing signs, Matt, while you were chit-chatting just a moment ago. I took the liberty of looking up Michigan's bowl game history because I did see something where Michigan is, with the worst thing, with the harshest punishment handed down, that all of their wins are going to be erased. And I thought to myself, as a general sports fan, like, what in the fuck has Michigan won in the last, 20 years?
They were co-national championship.
When?
In 1999 or 2001.
Let me see.
They were co-national champs with USC, I think.
Okay, not counting it, though. But yeah, I went up and looked Michigan's bowl game history here. The reason I did that was because really everything comes down to bowl games at the end of the year. If you're a really good team, obviously you're going to play in the college football playoff now, which is a bowl game, and then you will play for the championship, the national championship. Michigan hasn't won a bowl game since 2016. So I think they need to try a little harder at the stealing of the signs. Going backwards, they have lost in order to TCU, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, Florida State. Their last bowl game coming January 1st of 2016, the Citrus Bowl. They defeated Florida 41-7.
I remember that because it was Florida and Michigan, but they both weren't very good that year. And so it was like a big name that they just put in the Citrus Bowl.
They haven't won a major bowl game in 12 years. In 2011, they won the Sugar Bowl, defeating Virginia Tech 23-20. Point being is that sucks that they're just going to get
at least the
boned
Astros
hard.
won a World Series cheating.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying here is
You lost to Max Duggan, who's a ginge.
Michigan maybe needs to try a little harder on their cheating. Clearly doesn't seem to be panning out for them. Best of luck to Harbaugh.
But as I was talking about those bowl gifts that you get, so like every player gets like, sometimes it's like really cool. Like there was like a Sony bowl and everyone got like a PlayStation 3 or something.
Which is absurd.
And one of my college roommates' best friend played for Boise State and was like one of their really good wide receivers. I think his name was like Matt Miller. And
Matt Miller.
Oh. And he had like sunglasses from like the Hawaii Bowl or something. And it was just like, oh, they just gave everyone Oakley sunglasses. But now with NIL.
Of course it's a bribe.
It's 100% a bribe.
Michigan Wolverines. What's going to happen? I don't know. We're going to find out.
Honestly, it's like I keep going back to these bowl game gifts. It's like something they give you, but you clearly don't want.
Would you like to just talk about bowl game gifts?
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
We're trying to weave off of Michigan. We could just move on.
Yeah, I fucking hate Michigan, and I like bowl game gifts, but we can move on.
Moving on. According to Yahoo, Leo Colas wrote this article Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. Titled Yellowstone Tourist Suffers Consequences After Getting Too Close to Bison, got what he was asking for. The 2.2 million acres of land in the Yellowstone National Park is quite the tourist destination. It includes wild animals, including elk, bears, and wolves. Also bison. Another tourist classic. This is just like a recurring news story, but I saw this.
It's deja vu. Like it comes up like the one time I remember I spit out my drink when you were like, yeah, the person got helicoptered by the
and is pinned against the ground with a bison in Yellowstone.
What do you do in that situation? Honestly, if it wasn't life or death, a great joke would be like jump to the ground like a WWE referee and be like 1, 2, 3, and just slam the ground and be like, yeah, you got pinned.
Well, they had a couple comments to share. One user said, "What an idiot. Got what he was asking for up close and personal." Another said, "Another moron. Can't read and won't follow the rules." Well, illiteracy is sweeping the nation after all. In a classic like PSA Yellowstone, recommending you stay at least 75 feet away. And they can run faster than humans. No fucking shit. And they also tell you how the bison's mood is feeling. I wouldn't listen to that. Oh, their tail's up or down. It's like, that motherfucker's going to charge you.
He weighs 2,000 pounds. He can feel however he wants to feel.
A little mental note. Do not stand your ground. Says the National Park Service in a recommendation.
You shall not pass.
Bison are the largest land mammal in North Dakota. An adult male can weigh around 2,000 pounds. Just have to share the quick little news story. According to Yahoo, Yellowstone, another attack is happening.
Honestly, there needs to be a IQ test to get into Yellowstone because we have this conversation quite a bit. There was one, I don't know if we ever talked about it in the podcast. This was probably 6 months ago or so. You know, they have the hot springs there. Mm-hmm. It was steaming, and some dude jumped into it. No, like wherewithal of be like, oh, maybe that's too hot. It was like 180 degrees. And this guy's skin essentially damn near melted off.
Yep. Steam is hot. You ever poured out the water from your noodles and stood right over it? It's no fun.
Or like you're carrying your noodles over to the sink to dump into the strainer and you like spill it and it goes on your foot.
Well, that's just boiling water.
Yeah.
At that point, it is hundreds of degrees. I'm having some technical difficulties. My computer's about to fucking die. I unhooked it earlier. You know, it's just one of those days. This is No Brains, No Headache podcast. You pay for what you get.
You told me earlier that you watched a bunch of movies. Could I ask you what you watched?
I can't. because it conflicts with
Okay.
what we are doing later. And for our listeners' information, we have the Olympics of Kevin Costner movies coming up after Matt's final Cleary comment here.
This will actually lead into the happiest next whatever. Oh, who cares? I had a minor stroke. The happiest place on earth. I saw this like ad. I think it was on YouTube that it was like the happiest place on earth, Disney World. And my thoughts were like, for who? For if you're under 10 years old?
Yes.
Because
that's how they make their cake, Matt.
Honestly, I like looked up a couple prices, and it's like if you go to Disneyland, it's like a couple grand a person.
It's a small mortgage.
Yeah. And like it's awesome. Like, my kids loved it. I'll be honest, I think I went there when I was in like the 4th or 5th grade. I would have had more fun at like a lake cabin. It's not the happiest place on earth. But my question for you is, what is the happiest place on earth?
There is a strip club right outside of Bozeman, Montana. I believe it's in Three Forks. Wow. You are going to have a good time.
What's it called?
No idea.
I did just think of that too. It's like the funniest strip club names.
The happiest place on earth. You know, and this is just me in the moment going here, Matt, okay? Lately, my happiest place on earth is laying in bed at the end of the night. It's like, oh, fuck yeah.
Mine's similar to that. It's when I get under my 40 pounds of comfort blankets.
Yeah.
My bones start to just condense into my bed.
Pretty happy. Happiest place on earth. Some sort of wing joint where you can eat chicken wings.
Okay, I just pulled up the funniest strip club names that actually exist. Booby Bungalow, Uranus Lounge, Vaginas Are Us.
Is that a stripper's name?
No, that's the name of the strip club.
Straight to the point.
The rear end.
Although, if I went to Vaginas R Us and didn't immediately see a vagina, I'd be like, well, this is a fraud.
Yeah, I bet it's in Canada.
Is it? You think it's one of those where it's a tops only bar, like the reverse, like in Harold and Kumar, where they're like
the Winnie the Pooh.
All the strippers.
You ever wake up?
The professional dancers have their tops on, bottoms off.
Sometimes I wake up and I'm Winnie the Pooh, like no boxers,
rock hard,
shirt on. Why does Winnie the Pooh have a boner?
Because he just woke up.
Oh, but yeah, I'll just have I'll have a shirt on, no boxers.
Where did you start as?
Usually like shorts, boxers, shirt. Sometimes a sweatshirt if it's cold.
With 40 pounds on you, I don't think you're going to need a sweatshirt.
Well, not anymore. This is 40 pounds is pretty new. Moving on to strip clubs. Great Alaskan Bush Company.
Basic.
Fuzzy Holes. Cruisin' Chubbies. Now, are the strippers fat or is that just the boners?
I'm not really sure, Matt.
There's not really any other.
The landing strip is the most classic.
Yeah, volcanic eruptions in my pants.
What are they, just serving tacos there? And just
Chicks on Dicks. I feel like that is a horrible name.
There's no chicks with dicks. Just guys with tits.
What the fuck? Clockwise rim jobs, counterclockwise rim jobs.
Sometimes you like to see the tongue go the other way. Yeah, these aren't the happiest places on earth. Matt, let's move on, okay?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Olympics is back. The ranking game we occasionally play here on No Brains, No Headache podcast. Essentially what happens is Matt and I pick a topic. This week is Kevin Costner movies. And I don't really know why we went with this after doing my research. Like, he's got some really good ones, but it's not like a plethora of them.
It's not deep. And also, there's a lot of like really good Kevin Costner movies that I just hate.
Yeah, well, we can have some DQs. Yeah. So what Matt and I will do, we'll go back and forth. ranking these Kevin Costner films, gold, silver, bronze, lost in the medal round. You can have honorable mentions and DQs. Those are definitely optional. Matt just had a mic punch. I haven't had one of those in a while. Rules state that Matt and I can't have the same picks. Rules also state that we will alternate back and forth. Matt is looking for the Buffalo nickel right now. He can't seem to find it. I can tell he's panicking. Did you find it? No. You just grabbed a generic coin. We lost the Buffalo nickel. That is great.
I know I put it somewhere and I was drunk or something.
Fantastic. Heads or tails? See who goes first. Tails.
It is tails.
Okie dokie. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? The Olympics of Kevin Costner movies. My pick is first, and I'm going to go with, surprise, surprise, Dances with Wolves. Matt, you asked me earlier what movie I was watching. I recently had, probably for like the last week or so, I would keep watching Dances with Wolves before I would go to bed, go take a nap, whatever. The sleeping was involved, and I think for the first 4 or 5 times I watched Dances with Wolves, I made it maybe 30 total minutes into this film.
Which means it's not a good movie. It is so slow and boring.
Would you say that about Shawshank Redemption? Because that's my other nap / sleep movie.
Nope. If I start watching Shawshank, I'm up for the entire length of it.
Okay. Dances with Wolves, a 1990 film starring Kevin Costner. He's a Civil War soldier, and he develops a relationship with a bunch of Lakota Indians and really starts to mesh with them. They call him Dances with Wolves. He's got his buddy, the wolf, Two Socks, in there. We actually just talked about this last episode.
Two Socks, best part of the movie.
He's welcomed as a member of the tribe, falls in love with a white woman, and then pretty much shit hits the fan. Dances with Wolves, the runtime on this is 3 hours and 1 minute. So you're going to have to block off some serious time. I was watching it, though, and he, at one point, Dances with Wolves, a.k.a. Kevin Costner, gets laid. And immediately after, a war breaks out. And it's just like, this dude was just trying to have some pillow talk in the Sioux language. And it just wasn't happening for him.
And just, Wolverines! Oh, shit.
Pretty much. But it is crazy to think about how the frontier used to be. They have some great shots of just rolling prairie land, wide open. Like, how scared do you think you would be scared or excited in that time? You're headed into the frontier. You could run into all sorts of people, savages. You can run into peaceful tribes. What do you like? What would you think of the whole thing?
I would be either very good at that or terrible. I'd be like,
meaning you would either stay alive or die.
I would be essentially the Asian guy in not another teen movie. Either I'm accepted by them, or I'd be like, "What's up, my brothers?" and just get friggin' kicked in the head. I took your other beer.
Do I need to go grab one?
Yeah, you probably should. I can get into my gold.
How many did you drink already?
It's irrelevant.
I would like to know. I think the listeners deserve to know.
3?
We are 33 minutes in.
Yeah.
Right on pace, actually.
A beer every 11 minutes. That's usually my thing.
You're actually a little slow. Dances with Wolves, my gold pick. Kevin Costner, he's the man.
I'm going to get into my gold pick, and I'm going to go with The Guardian. Jordan said perfect, so I don't think it was on his list. It's one of those movies that, for whatever reason, was always on, like, country music channel or something, like when you're homesick from school.
Ah, CMT.
And
nice.
So the premise of it, a high school swim champion with the troubled past enrolls in the U.S. Coast Guard's A School, where legendary rescue swimmer Kevin Costner teaches him some hard lessons about lost love and self-sacrifice.
Cost.
Thank you. It has everything that I like in a movie.
High school swimming.
Ashton Kutcher.
Oh.
Yeah, I just think it's a pretty good movie. Keeps you entertained.
I actually have seen this one.
I like it. It's got a 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb. So I mean, that's
Matt, you're not on the stand here, okay? Your reasons are yours and they're valid. Okay?
I think it has some of the best clips of any movie most of them don't involve Kevin Costner. A couple of them do, but I digress. The Guardian, that's my gold pick.
Nice, played perfectly into my hand here. So I will go on to our silver round here, the Olympics of Kevin Costner films. I'm going with the 1988 drama Bull Durham. Fantastic film starring Kevin Costner, Susan Sarandon, Tim Robbins, Andy Dufresne. In Durham, North Carolina, the Bulls minor league baseball team has one asset no other can claim. A poetry-loving groupie named Annie Savoy.
There's no coming. A poverty-loving
You know what
person?
I said when I said earlier that illiteracy is sweeping the nation, man? I meant it, okay? Illiteracy is sweeping the nation like the Union was the frontier in the fucking 1800s.
I'm trying to write down Bull Durham, and I just started writing Andy Dufresne.
He's got Nuke. It's Tim Robbins, a young pitcher who's got a lot of talent, but not very disciplined. And Kevin Costner plays Crash Davis. They both fall in love with their Eskimo bros. Them and Susan Sarandon go to town, and it is like opening scene nipple in this movie. They don't mess around. They get right into it. A fantastic film. Like I said, 1988. Durham Bulls. And it's one of those, I think it's a cult classic because I think it had a huge resurgence. You'll see people wearing like Durham Bulls gear. Yep. And it's just like, what the fuck?
Well, because the team's still around, isn't it? It's like a minor league team.
No idea. Let's check it out, shall we?
I'm fairly certain it is.
It's just going to be a Slim Fast moment where a listener on the other end is just yelling in their car. Let's see what we got here.
They might be in like the Independent League or something.
They were acquired by the nearby Raleigh Pirates and merged. They had a merger, but they're still affiliated with the Mets.
Oh, well, that's classic.
94 was the last year, I believe.
Okay, well,
regardless,
that was close. Honestly, my thoughts on the pick. Good pick. I have seen the movie. It was a while ago, but I would need to watch it front to back. But it is a decent movie, so I'm not going to say anything bad about it. You were going to roast this next pick because it is not good. This is the definition of a cult classic movie, and it's Waterworld.
Okay, I don't hate that pick. It was on my radar.
I love Waterworld. I'm a big post-apocalyptic person, and I did not say that word right. And just like me reading the synopsis of it makes it sound like maybe one of the worst movies of all time. In a future where the polar ice caps have melted and Earth is almost entirely submerged, a mutated mariner fights starvation and outlaw smokers, reluctantly helps a woman and a young girl try to find dry land. Well, they just ruined the entire movie by saying almost entirely submerged, because in the movie, everyone thinks it's fully submerged.
I'd have to watch that one back. The 1995 film that has a runtime of 2 hours and 56 minutes, by the way.
It's one of those that you fall asleep and then you wake up and you're like, well, I'll just finish it.
And that's what Kevin Costner does. He's got a lot of napping movies, and that's why we love him so much. But I do appreciate Waterworld, just the creative ways that they try to portray the future or a world that is literally covered in water, like his little bonsai tree plant and just their jet skis and just their watercraft, water vessels.
There's a lot of like holes in it though. It's like, oh, the smokers for whatever reason just have a ton of cigarettes and a like fuel tanker that's full of gas.
Yep. That's what cheesy Waterworld films get you. A lot of, or the action's terrible. The acting.
Yeah. A lot of things in the movie are like, I'm going to take this jet ski off a jump. It's like, man, no one cares.
Matt's over here like, a lot of things about the movie suck, but it's my silver medal round.
Dude, there's a lot of Kevin Costner movies that I don't like.
That's true. We're going to have a ton of DQs. Kind of probably just did this on an impulse decision.
I think we said it like last week, and then we're like, we got to stick to our guns.
Yes.
Even though we've said that we're going to do things, we're just like, yeah, whatever.
We're men of our words. My bronze medal pick, I guess I'm just going to stick with the baseball theme here and go with Field of Dreams. Just seems like it would be sacrilegious not to take Field of Dreams right now. And I do want to have a little bit of diversity on my podium. But the way this has hashed itself out, I got to go with Field of Dreams, the 1989 film. Iowa farmer Ray hears a mysterious voice one night in his cornfield saying, "If you build it, he will come." He feels the need to act. He builds a baseball diamond on his land, supported by his wife, played by Amy Madigan. Afterwards, the ghosts of players start emerging from the crops to play ball, led by shoeless Joe Jackson. It's, just a fantastic film. Haven't seen it in a while. The MLB started playing a Field of Dream series, which is pretty cool. There's an actual baseball stadium there now. Iconic as can be. And I'm just going to keep it short and sweet on Field of Dreams, my bronze medal pick.
I hate that movie.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm just going to punch a hole in it. They're like, oh, you built this baseball field. That's going to cripple us financially. You know how much corn grows in that area? Not enough to kill an entire family.
Financially.
I'm going to go with my bronze medal pick, and I'm going to say this. Kevin Costner's best sports movie, Tin Cup.
Okay. Whew. That was close. I thought you were going to go in with a different one, and I would disagree. Tin Cup, pretty solid pick.
Yeah, a washed-up golf pro working at a driving range tries to qualify for the U.S. Open in order to win the heart of his successful rival's girlfriend, who is hot as shit. And basically, Tin Cup has maybe one of the most iconic sports moments in movie history when he just keeps calling for the ball. And then he finally makes it, and it's like, okay, you got a 14 on the hole and lost, but good for you. I love Tin Cup. It's a golf movie, which there's few and far between. As long as sports movies existed, but I love Tin Cup. I love a good golf movie. It has comedy. It has a love story. It has golf.
That's all you need right there for a bronze medal pick by Matt. Got a pretty solid podium so far in the Olympics of Kevin Costner movies here on No Brains, No Headache podcast. Let's keep it chugging right along, Matt. We've got a few things to take care of still. And so I'm going to go with my Lost in the Middle round pick, and it's going to be The Highwaymen. 2019 film with starring Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson. Essentially, they're former Texas Rangers who are in the World Series, by the way. We'll get to that in a minute. They come out of retirement to try to apprehend the notorious outlaws, Bonnie and Clyde. It was great. I believe it is a Netflix film.
Yep.
So highly recommend The Highwaymen. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember thoroughly enjoying it. Kathy Bates is also in it as well. Want a good movie recommendation? Watch The Highwaymen on Netflix.
I actually forgot about that when I was doing my business, but good pick. And I'm going to take my last one. I would have taken this probably in my gold medal if he played a bigger character in it, but it's Molly's Game.
Fantastic choice.
It's
I love where your head's at.
It's a poker movie, but at the same point, let me find the synopsis of it, because if I try to describe a movie, it's like, well, they played a poker game, and then...
Let me help you out here. The true story of Molly Bloom, a beautiful young Olympic-class skier who ran the world's most exclusive high-stakes poker game for a decade before being arrested in the middle of the night by 17 FBI agents wielding automatic weapons. Her players included Hollywood royalty, sports stars, business titans, and finally, unbeknown to her, the Russian mob. Her only ally was her criminal defense lawyer, Charlie Jaffe, who learned there was much more to Molly than the tabloids led people to believe. A 2017 film. Great movie. I had that on my list if you were going to take any of mine, and you didn't do any of mine. So
that's where I kind of figured. I figured we had kind of different lists, but if you want to run through your picks quick, and then I'll run through mine, and we can get a little couple DQs or honorable mentions, and we can move on.
Gold was Dances with Wolves, silver, Bull Durham, bronze, Field of Dreams, lost in the medal round, The Highwayman.
Gold, The Guardian, kind of regretting that. Silver, Waterworld, bronze, Tin Cup.
Also regret.
And lost in the medal round, easily my best pick, Molly's Game.
I had that lower on my list too because he just has such a smaller role.
He plays her dad, like
yelling at her.
Like, yeah,
your dad just verbally abusing her on the slopes.
I feel like it's one of those where it's like, oh, we should get this big name, but we can't pay him a ton. So like,
he was the definition of like, you're not fucking eating when we get home because you fucked up the slaloms earlier or whatever.
Exactly.
I only have one honorable mention after the results here, and that's For the Love of the Game. I actually just watched this Kevin Costner film not too long ago. I've apparently been on a Cost kick. And so I have For Love of the Game. He is a pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. It's the final game of the season. He's being told that the owner has sold the team. He's being traded. His woman left him. Just everything's crumbling down. And he has like that moment where that Pirates pitcher back in like the 80s when he took LSD and threw a perfect game. That's what I imagine this is based off of, because it kind of flashes in and out a little bit back and forth of him during the game and his prior experiences in his life, and ends up throwing a fucking perfect game. John C. Reilly's the catcher, which is funny, and a pretty dynamite cast surrounding him, but interestingly shot there.
The only other honorable mention I had, and this was going to be like a deep cut, I think you didn't take any of that I had on my list, but I was going to take Man of Steel.
Okay.
He played Superman's dad and dies. But
Plays a lot of dads. I have a DQ. It is Draft Day. I just hate that movie.
Actually, that movie was on my list as well. I love that movie. Vontae Mack, no matter what. Gives you an insight.
So unrealistic.
Oh, absolutely.
Roger Goodell.
No one's gonna
cocksucker.
No one's gonna trade you 3 second-round picks for the number 6 pick in the draft. It just doesn't make sense. There's a lot of unrealistic things, but I do love has some like great like one-liners. Like the strength coach is like, guess what he benched, and he's like, well, you're gonna tell me anyways. So,
not a fan.
We can move on to...
That's the Olympics of Kevin Costner films. And we'll finish up with Mini Helmet Fantasy Football real quick. I got a little bit of a gambling wager update. You know, like you may or may not know, Matt and I like to gamble when each season kicks off, we usually like to pick some winners, at least for baseball and football. So happy to report, nobody is going to win the MLB bet. You took the Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Angels.
And my reasoning behind that was so I don't forget.
Even though I read him down.
And Jordan's like, yeah, I read him down. It's like, oh, damn it.
So only one of your teams made the playoffs, promptly got the boot, scoot, and boogie. And then I had the Astros, Rays, Padres, and Braves. So 3 of my 4 teams made the playoffs, and then Astros went the furthest. Nobody from NBNH will be winning that wager as the Diamondbacks versus Rangers takes off. Random as hell, but I love that. I love that for sports. I think it's great for the game. And then also our NFL bet. Beginning of season, Matt has the Eagles and Bills. I have the Chiefs and Vikings. At one point, it wasn't looking so great. I'm sure all the haters out there will say, regardless, the Vikings aren't a Super Bowl team. I would maybe agree to that with some extent, but they've been playing well as of late. We're recording ahead of time, so I don't want to say too much to get ahead of myself. But the Eagles are looking decent for you. Bills kind of slumping. Chiefs are looking good for me. Vikings kind of slumping as we approach the halfway point of the 2023 season. So that's our update on our professional sports wagers. And now Mini Helmet Fantasy Football. We're going to go through Week 7 results and then pick our Week 9 lineups. It's all fucked up and wonky.
Yep. It happens.
That's how we do it. But Matt, Week 7, let's get to it.
So how Mini Helmet Fantasy Football works is we draft mini helmets out of the sack, and we pick quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end. In Week 7, Jordan had Russell Wilson, 15 points, Alvin Kamara, 29, Marquise Brown, 7, and Hunter Henry, 4, for a total of 55. I had Lamar Jackson, 41 points. Jonathan Taylor, 20, Keenan Allen, 9, Evan Ingram, 9, for 79. That puts us to 3-3.
Tied up.
Yep. So usually it is the winner goes first. We already drafted Week 8. This is Week 9.
Yes, we are just all over the place.
There is 4 bye weeks, and we, of course, do not play the Monday night because that is usually when we record.
Yeah, we got 4 bye teams, and the Monday night teams include Jets, Chargers. Is that the Broncos helmet?
Yep.
Jets, Chargers, Broncos, 49ers, Jaguars, Lions. I need to figure out what's going on. I cannot speak right now, and we have open mic after this, so that should be interesting.
I drafted the Bears.
Bears.
And I'm going to go with pass. I will take Devonta Foreman.
Let me pull up the... Hold on. Let me pull up the schedule here. How did I get to NCAA football? Why am I there? Fuck.
Counterclockwise rim jobs. What the fuck?
Okay. Week 9, the Bears play the... Wait. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. It was wrong. Bears play the Saints. Excuse me. I got the Giants. I promise. I
mean, it's if you're gonna cheat, that's a terrible pick to cheat on. So let me just pick my next pick.
Oh, give me Darren Waller. Revenge game versus the Raiders. And knowing my luck, he will probably get injured in the meantime.
Yep. Let's go with, oh God, the Patriots.
Yikes. Patriots play the Commanders at home. It's a noon game.
Give me Mac Jones.
Where we're going, we don't need roads. The Packers. Okay, we are on a bad streak. We haven't had any.
These are like the 4 worst teams you could possibly choose.
Packers versus Rams in Lambeau. Okay, I don't want Jordan Love. I'll tell you that for free. And if he's going to suck, that means his receivers are going to suck. But I might just take one of them. Just so I can hopefully get... Was Christian Watson playing?
Yep.
Whatever. Give me the Bison. I had a Yellowstone story about a bison earlier. It's only appropriate I take a ex-Bison right now.
Ooh, the
despite
Bills.
me hating them.
I can't take Josh Allen, but I can take Stephon Diggs.
Damn.
Hopefully he scores 73 points, and then no one else really matters.
Okay, the Cardinals. I am going to...
You got either... Kyler Murray might be back, but you could take...
Is it Demercado? Who's their current running back? Is James Conner available?
I do not think so.
Okay, Arizona Cardinals. Dude, this is bad. Giants, Packers, Cardinals.
First I was
Go to the official team website. They don't mince words here. Amaral Demercado.
Well, let me spell that. Demercado.
This is bad.
All right. I need a tight end.
I need a miracle.
Dalton Schultz. I got the Texans. I need a tight end. I need a miracle.
Okay, the Bucks. I don't think a single one of my team is a single game above 500. Baker Mayfield. Great. So I have Baker Mayfield, Demercado, Christian Watson, Darren. This is bad.
I have Mac Jones, Donta Foreman, Stephon Diggs, and
I'm upset. Let's end this.
Yep, that sucks. Make sure to follow us on social media at NBNH Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you want to leave us a review on iTunes, you can go ahead and do that, or follow us on Spotify. Leave us 5 stars. That helps the show a ton.
Episode 175 up next.
This is a freestyle off the top of the dome. Here we go. And I do it again. I do it.
176.
I do it only once. I go down that river slow to the place.